I mean, certainly, I think that's a big attribution of it, but also you have a Dutch style too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you trained in Thailand for almost a year. You're a sponsored fighter there, but you also have a Dutch kickboxing style background.
Yeah, so I originally started with Dutch style,
and that's powerful.
Yeah, Dwayne Ludwig style, and Tyler Toner. Those are the original boys down here in Colorado. Yeah, so I went to Thailand with that style, like a movement boxing, heavy.
But those are powerful kicks too.
Yeah. Just different way to generate power. And then I go to Thailand, and they were not happy with me. They're like, you got to change everything up. And they told me I was being afraid, and I didn't see it as that. I mean, I was always game.
Because you're angling. Because
I'm backing out, and I'm changing angles. And they said, why you run? Why you scared? Because they want you to sit there and just freaking take it. And then, so of course, I did. I switched over. So when I got back from Thailand, I was a completely different person. And then when I got... when I came back, I started doing more of the Dutch style stuff, and now I have created like a hybrid style, and I can do both now. So I just choose what I want to do if depending on who I'm going against. If I can manage like a good Thai style in defense, like blocks, teeps, checks. If I need to move, then I can move. I move in. I usually do that with like taller people.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move more.
Yeah.
And I'll try to get in.
Work your way in.
Because it doesn't work if you're trying to do like teeps and stuff. If the person's longer than you, you're not gonna get. You're gonna get punched in the face if you stand there. So it's good to move. So I think it's a good thing to have both.
This is The Prize Fighting Business, and I'm your host, Daniel Casado, and today my interview guest is Colorado-based professional Muay Thai fighter and kickboxer, Dan Wilson. Dan has 23 fights overall and boasts a 17-5 record. He won the Colorado State Muay Thai Championship at 135 pounds in their inaugural tournament, and he also won the Bangla Stadium Championship belt while he was living, training, and fighting in Thailand for a full year. He's also fought for Glory Kickboxing in the past, and now he's looking for his next fight after successful recovery from a brutal knee injury. In addition to competing as a professional prize fighter, Danny also runs a private chef company, teaches at Easton Muay Thai, and still finds time to skateboard when he's not busy with everything else. Now let's dive deeper into my conversation with Dan about his martial arts journey. Danny, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Perfect. Well, it's an honor to have you. And so you are 3-1 as a professional Muay Thai fighter, kickboxer.
Yep.
You have a 14-4 amateur record, and you are most recently coming off of a pretty devastating knee injury that at least set your career back for about a year now, right? Or almost 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I've been training for since I was 19, so it's 11 or 12 years now, so I was actually able to go a whole career of training, fighting without having any injuries. I had no injuries, never broken a bone, never twisted, really, no nothing. And then here I am, hit 30 years old on my birthday, terrible triad, tore all three of my ACL, MCL, and meniscus.
ACL, MCL, meniscus.
Yep.
And you never
90% that way. Boom, snapped everything. Yeah. All skateboarding though.
I was just gonna say you've never
nothing to do with fighting.
No injury fighting ever. This happens when you're skateboarding, just in your off time.
Yeah. Skateboarding is just so unpredictable. You don't know how you're gonna fall, and so you have to be. I mean, it's just you don't know when you're gonna fall. I mean, there's so many different ways you could be professional and they still get KO'd.
Of course.
Tear their ankles. It's mostly ankles and knees and wrists. Those are the ones because those are the things you fall on and you twist on. So those are the ones that you see the most in skateboarding. So I even went I've been skating since I was 12, right? Yeah, 12. I mean, a little before that, but start street skating and stuff 12. Never broken a bone, nothing, just nothing. So it took all the way till 15, 20 years to actually get a serious injury.
I think I've gotten the most concussions in my life skateboarding if I really think about it.
It's freaking common, dude. Yeah, you'll see a lot of it.
So you started fighting at 19 years old, but right now, coming off this injury, you're not technically in your recovery stage anymore, but you're rebuilding the strength. You're kind of getting back to full-time training and
I mean,
really intensity.
I was a fast I recovered fast. I mean, I started boxing, and I shouldn't have done that, and they totally ruled against it. But I started boxing, just doing boxing. I got 3 months from surgery, which is stupid. But
Wow.
I'm not the type of person that sits still. And
How long do you
have
get
to.
surgery after an injury like that? Do you have to wait, or do you get it right away?
They say minimum 6 months, minimum, and then they say like a year before. He told me a year before I could throw a kick, and
Wow.
I was kicking at 4 months, I started throwing kicks, which is very stupid, and I'm very aware of that. But I'm
Sure.
not the type of person to sit still, and I'm gonna be, I'm not gonna sit still and do nothing.
Were you
I'm just not
skateboarding at
person.
that time?
And I started skating at the same time, which is dumb as well. But I have like this knee brace, and I feel so confident with it, and I felt it. You know your own body.
Yeah.
You feel it, and you're like, okay, I try an ollie. Okay, that feels good. You can try a kickflip. All right, that feels pretty good. And then I start grinding a little bit. It's like, this all feels good. I don't have
Bold
no problem
man.
with it. Yeah. And so I went through the whole recovery process, doing the rehab, doing everything, but still skating on the side and just keeping it on the down low with
Sure.
my therapist and stuff. So
What does recovery look like? You worked with a therapist?
Yeah.
A physical therapist?
Yeah, physical therapist.
So what did you do?
Doing workouts I've never done before in my life. Like, I felt like an Instagram model doing like booty workouts. Because that's the stuff you want to keep tight, is like the booty, the hips, everything around the knee is what you want to keep really strong and tight. And that's going to prevent any injuries. And then the other one, your knees are old and they'll deteriorate over time. So if you can keep everything else strong around it, you'll be good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's almost
and
like...
I still do all those workouts. I still do not only skateboarding, like strengthening of the legs anyway, like when I'm doing ollies and jumping down shit. It's I do the other stuff as well. I do the band walks, balance board. You have like a nice balance board, and you do like single leg balances and do squats on it.
So work on the stabilizing muscles, essentially.
And that's stuff I've never done before.
Sure.
And so now I feel like both my knees feel stronger.
Really?
Yeah.
So you feel...
Other than being stiff, it feels strong.
Like stronger than before or stronger than after the injury?
Stronger than before.
Really?
Just because I've never done these workouts before. So now
Sure.
I've worked muscle groups that are now stronger that I should have been working the whole time.
Yeah,
But everything, and then those muscle groups from skating are now, everything's back to normal.
So your workouts are more functional than maybe before, more kind of glory or heavy lifting orientation?
Yeah, I don't do any heavy lifting, nothing. It's all
Cool.
body weight and a lot of reps. Like I try to do like CrossFit style workouts or circuit workouts. And then I do the band strength. I try to do that 2 or 3 times a week.
So you mentioned it certainly made you stronger, feel stronger, and be more confident in it.
Sure. And then that brings the confidence right out when you feel strong.
Do you feel like it's translated to Muay Thai directly?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, confidence is the problem with the Muay Thai. So I'm so afraid of tearing it again.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So now I'm afraid to throw a powerful right kick or even a high kick. So I don't like to throw right high kicks right now because I'm afraid to, because I feel like it's gonna pop out. But it's not. I know for like I'll throw it on the bag, and it'll feel totally fine. Like, okay, you gotta or a front kick to the face or a right head kick. You could do either of those, and then on the bag, and then when I do it sparring, I feel really unconfident. I feel like
you do think about it during
someone's
sparring.
Catch my leg. I feel like someone's gonna lean back, and I'm gonna overextend. So that's the biggest thing that I have from is confidence. I've lost confidence in my right high leg strikes, like right teeps, right head kicks, and stuff like that. Now those things I used to throw all the time. now it's just a process of bringing it back. And I've talked to other people that have had ACL surgery before. It's like it might be 18 months before you get that confidence back. It might be 2 years before you just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's right on my mind, because I do not want to go through this process again. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, it makes sense, that, and that's a big weapon in Muay Thai. I mean, the power kick is
Well, my right low kick is there, though. I mean, I'll throw that shit all day. That's one of my favorite.
So it's really just going above the waist that you feel nervous about?
I used to love throwing the right head kick and the right teep to the face. When the time is right.
Sure.
I used to do it in like fights. I would throw those both all the time. And so I tried to throw them lightly in sparring. And then so when I get real high and I get above it, it starts to scare me a little bit. You start to feel the tension. And I know it's fine. It's just confidence. It's like that's what I've lost.
Do you feel like you're making progress there at least?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, I started throwing right teeps like I did when I first was going through the surgery process. I was having other people like demonstrate right teeps to the face, like when it was teep week, and then I would. This week was teep week, and I was throwing right teeps to the face, and I had confidence with that. So it's a process of building it up.
Yeah.
And it might be, next year that I'll feel Like I won't even think about it.
That's
I mean,
wild to think
I still
about.
skate with I've reduced down to a smaller brace.
Okay.
So it went from a big one to a medium one. Now I have a really small one, and so the confidence, especially with skating, I'll just forget about it. Like I'll be so in the moment, and I'll just forget that
That's
I even
good.
have I've ever torn my ACL, and I'll just keep going. But with Muay Thai, I'll have a little more time to think, which is not. I wish I didn't think as much in Muay Thai.
Yeah. So
But
do you feel like you're stronger in skateboarding too? Like just in general, or do you feel like it's kind of the same, but you don't have the lack of confidence when you're skateboarding
Yeah,
at
it's
the very
because
least?
I feel just the same. My pop, like that's for the ollie,
Yeah.
ollie and stuff. They call it pop. I feel like that's gone down maybe slightly. I've always had like good pop, like that was what I was known for. Like when I was younger, like
Sure.
18, 19, I was like you're so small, but you have so much good pop. You can like ollie over me, you know. So that's one thing I always had because I have like strong legs, and so the pop is what I've always had. So that's gone down a little bit, but other than that, confidence because I don't think because you have to be so dialed in. If you're thinking about something else, you're gonna fall. You can eat shit. So I have to be dialed in, and so that's what I do with skating. I was just completely forget it. It'll take me 20 minutes maybe, and I'll take it easy. But when my body loosens up, it's like, boom! It's just like I've been doing this my whole life, so it just feels natural.
It's that flow
and I just don't
state.
think anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. It's my happy place. I just go there, kiss the skate park or wherever I'm at skating. Forget about any worries, nothing. I just zone into what I'm doing.
I think that's what makes a hobby like fun or something.
And that's what
exciting.
skateboarding is all about.
That flow
if you talk
state.
to like a true skateboarder, a surfer, or anything like that,
getting there.
You just say the same thing. It's
Absolutely.
just like their happy place, and then it's the place where they can zone out. So
have you heard of that Rise of Superman book?
I haven't.
It's like decoding the superhuman genome. It's a silly title, but what he talks about is just the progression that skateboarding and surfing, all these extreme sports have made because of people loving that feeling of flow so much that they seek it out consistently.
Yeah.
So like the example he used was Danny Way jumping over the Great Wall of China with a completely shattered ankle, but he was just in that flow state almost so high off that moment that he was able to fight through the pain and
so cool.
Do this ridiculous thing.
Travis Pastrana is the same thing.
Yeah.
He does crazy shit.
But
he says like, dude, I'm just like everybody else. Like I'll stub my toe and it'll hurt like no other. But it's like, the guy's broken every bone in his body. But I think that's just mad respect to stuff like that.
Well, that happens in fighting all the time. Like people think like, oh, the people at the top when they're not flinching when they get kicked or punched, especially boxing, blows my mind how they walk through just heavy-handed punches.
Man. You're in it. You're in it. And when you're in it, a lot of people are unstoppable. And adrenaline's crazy. And that's what's cool about I love like fighting for that purpose alone. It's having that adrenaline rush and when getting out of it alive and especially if you win, if you lose too, you still feel, oh, damn, I just got out of that freaking crazy.
It's not much like that feeling.
Yeah, it's a little bit better when you win. But like the thing about skateboarding is you can get that feeling. You set a goal, and if it's say you're going like a big handrail, then the adrenaline will start pumping big time. When you realize your life's in danger, your adrenaline will pump, and if you land that that whatever trick you're working on and your adrenaline's pumping, it feels the same way of like winning a fight.
Really? So you feel like there's a pretty good parallel between skateboarding and fighting?
Totally good, great transition.
So you're always just seeking out the next.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons. And I've said this. People ask me why I kick so hard. I'm only 135 pounds. And I always ask me since I started, like, why do you kick so hard? And I really believe it's because of skateboarding.
I agree.
Because I think I have muscle groups that most people don't have.
Yeah, and balance.
And balance, right? And then that's most people see it with like soccer. That may be the closest thing, but even then, they're not doing the same stuff we're doing. Yeah. And I think might be the only pro Muay Thai skateboarder or something like that.
Pretty sick.
So I think that's why I have a unique power set when I kick. So everyone hears me kick or sees me kick, they're like, wow, how the fuck do you have so much power?
I mean, certainly, I think that's a big attribution of it. Yeah. But also, you have a Dutch style too. Mm-hmm. I mean, you trained in Thailand for almost a year. You're a sponsored fighter there, but you also have a Dutch kickboxing style background.
Yeah, so I originally started with Dutch style, like,
and that's powerful.
Dwayne Ludwig style, and Tyler Toner. Those are the original boys down here in Colorado. Yeah, so I went to Thailand with that style, like a movement boxing, heavy.
But those are powerful kicks too.
Yeah. Just different way to generate power. And then I go to Thailand and they were not happy with me. They're like, you got to change everything up. And they told me I was being afraid, and I didn't see it as that. I mean, I was always game.
Because you're angling.
I'm backing out, and I'm changing angles, and they say, why you run? Why you scared? Because they want you to sit there and just freaking take it. And then, so of course I did. I switched over. So when I got back from Thailand, I was a completely different person. And then when I got... when I came back, I started doing more of the Dutch style stuff, and now I have created like a hybrid style. And I can do both now. So I just choose what I want to do. If depending on who I'm going against, if I can manage like a good Thai style in defense, like blocks, teeps, checks. If I need to move, then I can move. I move in. I usually do that with like taller people. I'll move more.
Yeah.
And I'll try to get in.
Work your way in.
Because it doesn't work if you're trying to do like teeps and stuff. If the person's longer than you, you're not gonna get. You're gonna get punched in the face if you stand there. So it's good to move. So I think it's a good thing to have both.
Do you have to fight people that are taller than you generally? So what you fight at 135?
No. Generally, I fight people about my size. It's usually range from 5'5" to 5'10".
How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Okay.
Yeah.
And 135, is that the weight class?
135. I fought in Thailand. I fought 132.
Okay.
I fought at 140 before too.
So you're currently.
I range from 130 to 140. I'll fight anywhere there I feel comfortable. Obviously the 132 is a rougher weight cut.
Sure.
And in 140 I have to cut like 5 pounds.
Okay.
So. And
you're currently in the market for a fight because you're coming off this injury.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see if I still got it.
Yeah.
I'm a competitor. I like to compete. I like to just test myself. So, after having the injury, everything's gone smoothly with that. My leg feels strong. I've been totally looking. I just got back into training.
Nice.
Been trying to train at least 3 or 4 times a week.
And you coach as well at Easton Muay Thai.
Yeah. So I coach, but the training will go up if I get a fight. I'm just doing the basics right now, 3 or 4 days a week, and just getting in shape, and that feels good getting that back. So we're pretty much full-fledged to go for a fight if we need to push into training camp.
And are you sparring right now?
And we're sparring. Yeah,
you're sparring
as well?
as well?
Tuesdays, Saturdays at Easton.
And is that hard sparring, light sparring? What does that
Saturday
look like?
is hard sparring,
Okay.
and Tuesdays nice and light.
So how long would you want for a fight camp to come back for your first fight off of this injury?
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Good,
So 2 months.
I mean, I like to have that like threshold where you're decently in shape, and then you push that 8 weeks hard.
Okay.
So
would
I'd say
that
like
be 8 weeks from
if you're
today?
not in the threshold, like if you're not like at that.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
So like, with the thing about skateboarding too is that it's like sprinting too. So it's like I get in shape. If I skate for like a week, I'll be in shape. But yeah, I would say 10 weeks total,
Sure.
2 weeks to get in that medium range there, and then 8 weeks to push. Or more like 7 because you think I'll take a week off before, but
Right.
I mean I've taken fights on a week's notice, because I just always am in shape.
So let's assume a full fight camp then. So what would your fight camp look like over that 10-week period? Yeah.
Well, I mean that. So I kind of been taking like I used to run against Thailand. They make you run, and that was a big part of my training was running. But since the knee, and even before the knee happened, I was like, I'm just not. I feel like running deteriorates your body a little bit, and because you're already cracking stuff, you're always kneeing stuff, elbowing things, and when you run, it just kind of takes a little bit more damage to your body. So, I was doing conditioning on the pads. So I was doing like, what we call like OT shovels, Sanchez shuffles, 1, 2, 3, 4 kicks on each side, doing that for like 4 minutes straight and do as many reps as you can. And I felt way better in shape doing that than running.
Well, fight-specific cardio that way.
Fight-specific cardio. And I like that. I like that. In my opinion, I think that's what you should be doing. Running for sure. I mean, running is good, but it's like that would just get you at the base level. Like a base run, go for an 8K run or 2 or 3 mile run. I'll just get you at the base level. But if you're sprinting on it, that would be different. Like if you're sprinting during the run, that would be simulating a fight, like you sprint. But you can get that same sprint motion like on the pads. Like 4 minutes. I always go an extra minute, so I'll do like our fights are pro fight 3-minute rounds. I'll push it every time I do a round. It's 4 minutes. I always go an extra minute so I can make sure I go the extra mile.
Yep.
And then I'll do conditioning. I'll do 3 conditioning rounds of like just insane.
And breaks in between, so it's kind of high intensity.
Yeah, just like
training.
a fight. Just like a fight. I mean, I'll do like it's like 6 rounds. So I'll do like 6 rounds, and that's just normal pad work. And then the 3 rounds will be just death rounds.
And you're doing that every day?
I'll do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
And then the Tuesdays will be a strength day, and then sparring, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I try to hit pads at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
And then.
So skills-based training once a day, and then 3 days a week once a day, kind of strength and performance.
Yeah, strength and then sparring and putting it together.
Okay.
Yeah. So about 6 days a week.
Yeah.
5 to 6. Sometimes you need that extra day to recover. So.
Right.
Well, that's what you take the Saturday. You usually spar Saturday morning, and then you take that day. So it's almost like 2 days.
How else have you seen your training change with the knee injury?
Like I said, it's just been the confidence. That's it. That's all it's been. Just been not having the same confidence that I had, and that's just something I'll get over. I'm sure eventually. And it's just because I'm thinking about my knee.
Does it bleed into training at all, or is that more primarily?
It doesn't bleed into training; it bleeds into sparring.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll I'm not gonna do half the things I normally do because of my knee. But that's gotten way better. So I just started. We've been doing this over like 6 months. I definitely was barely even throwing my right leg.
Yeah.
And then here comes 10 months, and I started throwing those low kicks pretty good. And now here are 14 or 15 months out, so a little over a year, and now I'm pretty much there. Like I was throwing my right kick to the body now, throwing the right teep a lot. So everything's pretty much there. It's just building that confidence back up. That's all it is.
Do you still have to do PT, or do you choose to?
I got done with the PT at 10 months. 10 months. They're like, hey, you're good to go. You can do everything on your own now. Nice. And so I just make sure I maintain like the band walks I was talking about.
Right.
I have a balance board at my house. Everything in my house.
I like a very functional orientation towards the workouts.
That makes such a big difference in your legs and your strength in your legs. And I'm way stronger in my legs now. And I thought I was strong before, but now it's like even more confidence in my legs. That they're strong.
So how would you kind of painted a picture of how training camp looks outside of or inside of fight camp. Does it differ at all outside, or is it just intensity and how many days a week you're going? Like, what is the difference between training camp for you and just a normal day of training when you don't have a fight coming up?
Oh, I mean, I'll fuck around the whole time at the gym. Yeah, like I won't be zoned in. I won't be dialed in. And I've got in trouble with some coaches before that because I'm always fucking around. Unless I have something on the books, I'm kind of a jackass, and I'll sit there and have fun with everybody and play around a little bit. And it kind of doesn't work sometimes if they have a fight on the books. I'm trying to focus on But,
so you like that fun? Training's fun for you.
Yeah, it's fun for me. It totally is. Obviously, when it comes down and it comes time to fight and we got to get serious, I'll get serious. But most fight, I'm having fun.
So you mentioned that you have to cut weight. Generally, 132 is a tougher cut. 140 is not too tough. Yeah. What do you normally walk around at if you're kind of training full time but not in fight camp?
Well, right when I'm running about 150.
150. Okay.
So right now I'm 155. I put on a little bit of weight from surgery.
Developing some power.
Developing the power, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I've just been a little bit lazy. Got the summer hours, the summertime sadness of the weight coming in. That's because I've been eating crazy. But when I'm training regularly, about 150, and then when I start hit the hard training, I'll get down to like 147. I can't keep by any weight.
Huh? So the cut's not drastic. Yeah. I mean, 6-7 pounds. I guess it's a high percentage of your weight.
Yeah. 135. I like 135. 140. I feel like the guys are a little bit bigger.
Sure.
Because they're cutting more.
Yeah, you could get guys 5'11" at 140, huh?
Yeah, totally.
At least MMA.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Huh. So
I don't like to cut more than 10 pounds. That's where I feel comfortable.
So 135 is kind of that 10 pound
mark.
That's
a good spot. But I'm willing to go to 132, and people ask me to go to 125, and I'm like, nah, man, it's gonna tear me up.
How long does it take you to get to 135?
Just a day.
So it's just dehydration.
Yeah, just dehydrate.
How do you do it?
I try to get 10 pounds out, and then I'll be maybe 2 days, and then the day before weigh-ins, I'll be cranking out just drinking water.
Is that a sauna that you're doing it with?
Or? I barely have to do that, really.
Really?
I try to do it the best. I mean, I have to do it the day of. I'll do a bath. I've actually never done a sauna. Huh. I've only done baths.
So or hot tub. Just cutting out the water for you is enough?
Yeah, I just have mad discipline right before, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to...
That's when I feel like I'm the weakest discipline.
Oh, it's so hard, though. It's like the worst. When you're so hungry and you're
just think of all
thirsty.
The food I could eat.
It's mostly just drinking. Like when you're dehydrated, it's like, I just want to...
Oh, that's the most weight, too. That's the one you feel worst about breaking on.
But, I mean, it ends up being worth it when you win. It's like, that was all worth it. It's not when you lose, but... It's just like, why am I doing this when you lose? But
so 135, 10-pound cut, that's kind of ideal for you. You don't really have to do too much.
No more than 10. And I think that's the way most people should do it.
Is that what you're looking for this next fight?
20 pounds. Yeah, I love 135, 132. I think we put my name up for Lion Fight for 132, but that's fine too. That's not that much of a difference.
And Lion Fights is really the biggest Muay Thai promotion available right now for pro and amateur fighters in North America at the very least.
Absolutely.
So that's
I've always wanted to fight on that promotion. I love Glory, and I love their rule set because I think it's good to have both, taking out the elbows and just focus more on boxing and the kickboxing aspect. But they don't have my weight class. I wish they would have a 135-pound weight class.
So what is the difference between rules and Glory and Lion Fights primarily?
They'll take out those elbows, and then they'll break the clinch up. I think you got like 5 seconds maybe in the clinch before they break it up. So you don't see a lot of kneeing and like a lot of neck wrestling and stuff.
So
like
more
that you see
higher
in Muay Thai.
paced striking action.
Yeah, which is great to have both rule sets. I think they should have both of them just like they do. So that's why I love Glory and I love Line Fight, because you get to see both rule sets. So I'm a big fan of both. I love kickboxing and I love Muay Thai.
And you've never fought for Line, but you have fought for Glory
fought for
before in the
Glory.
past, right?
Yeah.
How many times did you fight for them?
Just once.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to do it again, but like I said, they don't have my weight class. We did a catch weight when they came to Denver, and they put me on the card. But if they want to sign a contract, they want me to sign a contract for 143. And that's, like I said, the most I fought was 140, and so I'll be fighting guys like Robin Van Roosmalen, who fights at that weight class. Those guys are huge. They fight 155. Yeah, I mean, so I don't really find that's a good weight class for me to fight in or try to compete in, because I was just fighting guys way bigger than me. And
there's just not enough people in lower weight classes for them to be interested.
I don't know why they don't do that. I mean, I think you would have some exciting fights at kickboxing if they had. If they're doing 143, they would probably do 61 kilos. Since they do kilos, it'd be like 132. I think they would do. It'd be like 132, then 142, then they have like 150 something.
There's just not that many smaller Dutch guys or something.
I have no idea. I think it would be an exciting weight, guys. I think Glory is huge on the KOs. I like to see the big knockouts. I like to see stuff like that. You may not see that at the lower weight class.
Yeah.
But you might. I mean, you see it in the UFC. I know they have smaller gloves, but you see 135. You see actually more knockouts there than in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you mentioned that you've gained more weight outside of this fight camp, I guess, because you've been out of it a year and a half, 2 years, than normal, being around 155 or so. What does your diet normally look like outside of fight camp, just living your life?
Just living, like right now?
Yeah.
Man, pizza.
Yeah?
Burgers.
You don't really worry about it. You just kind of eat whatever you want.
I don't, because I'm so active.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I could eat, 2,000 calories and I'll burn it off that day.
Yeah.
I just burn when I skate. Because I mean, you think about it, I don't do anything but like I work and then I skate and then I go to the gym. And that's what I do like pretty much on a daily basis. And then I have like sometimes Saturday, but I'm spending Saturday mornings at the gym. I maybe have Sundays off and that's about it. But then I'm skating on Sundays.
Yeah.
I'm not really taking.
You're always burning calories.
I'm always burning calories. So like it might catch up with me sooner or later, but right now it's not. It just falls off. It's because I've been as active as I have been before. That's why I've gained a little bit more weight, but I'm still active and I just burn off calories because I'm just constantly doing something.
Yeah, and you're a pro fighter, so you get paid to fight, but you also have a day job and you run your own business. You're a private chef.
Yeah, like being staged as a pro fighter does not pay. You definitely have to have another job. But I've had a lot of people don't know this, but I've been cooking since I was 16.
Wow. So longer than you've been fighting.
Yeah, longer than I've been fighting. I've always had like a cook job, and I've built it up to prep cook. I've had waiting jobs too, bartending jobs. I've been in the restaurant industry since I was 16. A lot of people don't know that, and so now
that's half your life.
Yep, doing that the whole time. So I've always had cooking jobs, and eventually made it up to chef. But I've always been doing line cook jobs, and then training. That's kind of what I was doing, and then skating when I can.
But you also have a formal education in culinary arts,
and then I went
right?
to culinary school when I was 19.
At Johnson & Wales?
At Johnson & Wales, and I got a culinary degree. Then started big on the hotel industry. But I was only working part-time in the hotels, working part-time, and then still going to Easton and training.
So you were able to train full-time while you're kind of pursuing this career?
Yeah. Well, at that time, I was just an amateur.
Sure.
But I still, that was just always what I did on the side. Like, that's what I did for money, was being a chef or a line cook. And now I'm a chef, and I own my own business.
Cool.
Heartbeat Chef now. So
how can people check that out online?
Heartbeatchef.com. You can check out my Facebook, on Instagram. And, it's just a personal chef business. And like I said, I've had a lot of different jobs since 16. This is the best job. I don't think I'll change it.
Cool.
It's most laid back. There's no one yelling down my throat. It's just...
And you have a flexible schedule, somewhat at least, so you get to train.
I get to do skating. I get to still do my coaching job. I get to train.
You're living the dream.
Yeah, it's the best job I've had. because I've had working in the hotel industry and had some, big name chefs, and it's just...
Yeah.
It's not the lifestyle. You have weird hours, and it sucks, So I almost had a career change, because of that reason. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this because I was not happy with it. And then I met this girl that was doing personal chefing, needed some extra hand, and I started there, and I was like, this is what I need to be doing. And
How
so,
fortuitous.
yeah, so I did put my knowledge and my skills to work right there. So I've been doing it for 3 years now.
So that supports your pursuit. I mean, you get paid to be a pro fighter.
Yeah, so if I fight, I might get like $2-3 grand, which isn't bad. But it doesn't pay the bills. You know, I mean, if you're fighting, like I've fought maybe once a year. You know, since I turned pro.
You hear people talk about sponsors and getting sponsors for a fight. I mean, how realistic is it to get sponsors? What does that landscape look like in pro Muay Thai?
During my 4 American pro fights has been, I've had like 2 sponsors, you know.
Yeah. So you're sponsoring
all I do
yourself.
is give me free product, and that's all.
You might as well be putting Heartbeat Chef on your fight shirt then, so at least you
promote
get
my business.
some promotion.
Yeah, it works pretty good too, because I have a lot of my stuff is health oriented,
right? And
they see me, like, I'm on my profiles on the website, and they see that I'm in shape, and they want to get like me kind of thing. And and so I have a lot of different diets that I'm helping people out with. Like, it would be keto, vegan, dairy free, gluten free. It doesn't matter. We're gonna help you out. Yeah. Because I want to make sure that you get what you want.
That's right. So check them out. But so you have the ability theoretically to control your diet very much. So if you would like, but it doesn't sound like you necessarily.
No, I mean, I eat with variety during lunchtime, like, because that's what I'm doing. I'm working for a client. So whatever my client is eating, I'm going to be eating. So
luckily that lean's a little healthier generally.
Generally it's more healthier. So either it's like today was this lady was a vegan. She had a vegan diet, so I ate some vegan hamburgers today.
What is a vegan hamburger?
It's like made with black beans, mushrooms, everything vegan inside of it. And
my sister's a vegetarian.
You treat it just like a hamburger, and it tastes really good. You still use a bun, but everything is just there's no dairy. No eggs, no to bind it, no meat, nothing.
My sister went vegetarian when she was probably 13, and I just remember it being such a battle at home because my dad was like, I don't want to make extra food.
It's a pain. That's why you have
to make your own food.
Yeah. So that I'm eating that stuff, but then when it comes to dinner time, I feel like I've earned freaking hamburger with fries or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
especially after practice.
Yeah, and after practice, that's all I crave after practice. That's the other thing when you're like in a fight camp or something, and you got to eat right, and you're done with the practice, and you got to go home to fucking chicken and potatoes and like sweet potatoes, and that's it. And you walk by the Chipotle or whatever you're craving at the moment, and you got to walk by that stuff.
But for some reason, that food tastes extra good in Thailand. Even the basics.
Dude, I love the noodle soups in Thailand. That's just my favorite.
Super
I'll
basic.
Get like 2 of them.
So
just
good.
Give me 2 noodle soups. Yeah. Or just straight up chicken and sauce and with a little bit of rice.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's great, bro. Yeah. My thing was after there was this place called Combat Cafe, like right outside of the gym, and they had a protein smoothie. So it'd be like half a mile. So after practice, didn't even put my shirt on. You'd walk in there with no shirt, fucking tie shorts, look like you got boxers on, and just go, give me a smoothie right off the bat, and it's just chug that smoothie, and then you go and get something. Later in the night, noodle soup or whatever.
When I was there was a place in between the gym and where I stayed, and they like had this deal with the gym. So it's not only like the best tasting, but it's also the cheapest place.
Yeah, totally.
And it was cool because you could hit it on the way home from practice, say, hey, I want a shake and this for dinner, and then you go shower and you come back and it's ready for you. It was amazing.
Did you have the guy that has the coconut ice cream?
I didn't have any coconut ice cream.
He comes during training. Like, he brings his little cart. Oh. And everyone's like, during training, was like, oh, give me coconut ice cream. Everyone eats it during training. It's hilarious.
One of the trainer's wives would come each afternoon, and she did any fruit smoothie or slushy, I guess is what it is.
Dude, anything cold, bro. It's like, it's going to be...
With the fresh fruit.
When you're sweating that much...
It was great.
Just pouring water all over you all the time, and then anything cold, it was always a go.
I drink them after training in between sparring, which I would never recommend to anybody, but I would just crush them real quick.
Dude, it was so hot. Some of the trainers would drink cold water, and they'd spit it all over their trainer because he's overheating.
Yeah.
Your body's overheating.
I felt so bad because the sweat would be slinging off my arms.
It's so gnarly. And the clinching is just gnarly. It's just, there's sweat everywhere.
When people start teeping you and it's all black on your stomach.
Well, it's also fun because you don't get your ass beat as bad because you're slipping everywhere. You just turn like a little worm.
Yeah, so I guess, take me back. Tell me about kind of your journey in martial arts, because you did spend a year in Thailand, which I'm sure is a significant part of your martial arts journey. But you said you started at 19. How did you first get interested?
Yeah, so I was always like, I always love combat sports. I always like, I love all the movies. I always thought I could just
blood sport.
Loved all that stuff. And so it was just, it was like we had a party. I was like 18 years old, and there was this guy that came to the party, and we were all just doing like, classic drunken, who wants to fight and who wants to do all this stuff, and have it was all for fun, right? And then I ended up like being really aggressive with this guy and beating him. And he's apparently a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's been doing it his whole life. He's like, man, you guys try to fight, man. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then like a year after that, I was about 19. We got like a street fight with like a whole hockey team, which is really stupid.
They like to fight it here.
Yeah. So and so we got in a street fight, and it was the same principle. Like there was like 5 of us, and there was like 7 of them or something like that. And I was holding my own. I was the only one that didn't get like messed up like that bad. I don't know why. And so I realized that maybe I have a chance to like fight a little bit. So I just Googled who's the best Muay Thai fighter in Colorado, and it was Dwayne Ludwig.
Wait, you just looked up Muay Thai?
I just looked it up.
How did you find Muay Thai? How did you know Muay Thai was a word? I don't even know if I knew how to spell Muay Thai until like a few years ago.
Oh, I've been watching Muay Thai. I mean, I always been into it. Like I used to started watching MMA when I was like 18, like the WEC back then.
Yeah, Kenny Florian was the Muay Thai guy back then.
Yeah,
right?
and then they would say Muay Thai and stuff like that. And I didn't know exactly, what it was, but I mean, I just knew that Muay Thai was like the kickboxing or the fighting, actually like the stand-up part of it. And so I just Googled best Muay Thai guy in Colorado, and it was Dwayne Ludwig. And then
Dwayne Bang.
Yeah, so I went to Dwayne Ludwig, and
where was he?
He was teaching.
Did he have his
Easton
own
at the
gym?
time.
Oh, okay. So he was teaching at Easton, the gym you're at currently.
Yeah. So this is when Easton had a little hole in the wall in Denver, off South Broadway, real teeny small place next to like a Chinese restaurant, and they could hear like people smashing into the walls. The guys would come around, they go, "Hey, stop banging on the wall," stuff like that. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because people would smash on the wall, so they had to get out of that position or that whole thing. But they had that for like 5 years. Just that really small gym. So I had him, and then Dwayne left, but he had the main coach there was Tyler Toner, and so Tyler Toner is very similar, and I just stayed with him as like
another professional fighter.
Yeah,
both of them accomplished professional fighters.
And Dwayne was Tyler's coach too, so like all the very similar motions. So he had the same style, and I really loved like the Dutch style kickboxing.
Yeah.
So I just stayed at Easton, and then just grew with them basically.
So you looked at Muay Thai, you find Dwayne Ludwig, who happens to be kind of a hybrid between the Dutch style, being that is his base, and then also this Muay Thai style that he developed training Muay Thai and living in Thailand.
Done that too, yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of get the benefit of this hybrid.
He loves his boxing. Yeah, he's real high on the boxing stuff. Like I don't think I've ever seen him teach an elbow technique.
That's true.
Yeah, he doesn't like teach any of that.
Huh.
But yeah, he just loves that Dutch style kick. I think it's what he just favors towards it. But yeah, he's definitely been to Thailand. He's fought some good guys.
So how long did you train with them?
Yeah, that was like the first year, and then he stopped teaching there.
And then you came.
And then I was already kind of, I was actually like the only person. Like at one time, it was like 2 people at the time. Like no one wanted to do it. It was really weird. And then everyone that did it was all way bigger than me. So when I had like my first like fight, I just smoked the guy because I was getting my ass kicked for like guys twice my size.
How long into training was that when you took your first fight?
1 year. Yeah, I was about 20.
Was it a smoker or full on?
It was it was a smoker.
Okay.
No, but they didn't have smokers back then. It was like a fight. It was the first fight, and then
they didn't really sanction them back then.
Yeah,
either,
they didn't call it that. They didn't. It was just like, hey, we got a fight promotion going on here.
And you whooped his ass.
Yeah, and I beat him. With low kicks.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then they had the very first Colorado State Muay Thai tournament.
Huh.
And then I did that the next year, and we did and I won that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got 2
So you're
finishes
Colorado
on that.
State champion.
Yeah, for the very first one.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The inaugural Colorado State champion.
Yeah, for
that's
I think it was 135. Yeah, 135 I did.
Cool.
Yeah. So that I did. So I had like a good amateur start off, going like 4 or 5 in a row, and then we had another state tournament. We had we're like 7-1 as an amateur, and then there was this guy Brian Youngs that came and taught at
He's
Easton.
got his own gym now, right? Denver Thai boxing or something.
Yeah, so he came to when we opened the new location in the new Denver location off Mississippi. He started teaching there, and so he became kind of like my other coaches, like Tyler Toner and him, for these fights. And so he was like, dude, you want to go to Thailand? I was like, yeah, let's go to Thailand for sure. And so it was him and one other guy.
And you're 9 fights in right now.
Yeah.
9 fights into your amateur career, 2 years or so?
Like more like 4.
4 years
More
into
four.
training.
Yeah,
Okay.
so more like four, almost 5.
So you just rattled off fights at the beginning of your
Yeah,
amateur
so it took me
career.
about a year and a half before I took my first one. A year and a half, and then I was doing like the one a year, and then I had a couple within the year.
So 4 years in, 9 fights. And just for context, where are you in like your chef career? Have you started your own business yet?
I'm working at Snooze at this time.
Okay.
The breakfast place. I'm still working. Yeah, I'm doing that part time. So that's what I did for money, and that's what paid the
Okay.
bills.
So you're working part time.
And then
You're
I'm just
training full time
That's all I was
essentially.
doing. Yeah.
And this guy Brian Young says, "Hey, you want to go to Thailand?"
So Brian was teaching there for about a year, and so we became like sort of good friends, and because I really liked his teaching style too. So he was like, "Hey, you want to go to Thailand?" He got this other buddy, I forget his name, but it was me, him, and some other guy. We're gonna go to Thailand. I bought my ticket, I bought everything. 3 months, we're gonna go. And so like literally 2 weeks before we leave, Brian goes, I can't go, man.
Oh, wow.
I can't go. So he bails, but I still have my ticket.
Wow.
And I'm already set on going.
Did he buy his?
And so the other guy bailed too. So
Oh my
so
God.
now it went from having someone I could go with to fucking nobody, and it's just me. And so
How long were you planning to go for?
3 months, right?
Okay.
So we go 3 months. And
That's a long time.
Yeah, so that's what I was recommended. Like you can't go for a month, you gotta go for 3 months, especially because I wanted to fight.
I agree.
And so so I come out there, and first of all I didn't want to go because I was like, I don't know what to go with. Who am I gonna do? Anyway, so I get there, and the gym took care of me right away. Like they had someone waiting for me. Like you can't read anything. It's in the airport.
Where'd you go and what gym?
So I went to Lion Muay Thai, and like I said, right when I landed, they had like a sign for me. Like,
And that was in
Dan
Phuket?
Wilson. Yes, it's in Phuket. And I just felt right at home right
That's
away.
nice, yeah.
And I was like, man, thank God. So I didn't know anybody, and I wasn't with anybody, and it was
Yeah.
kind of scary at first. But yeah, and then right away they took care of me. So went to Lion Muay Thai was it called at the time, and now it's called Kalpi Tech Muay Thai. They've moved on, but
Did you live on site? I mean,
yeah.
did you stay on site?
So they gave me my room. That was actually just a couple blocks away.
Okay.
But they had on-site ones, but I didn't want to be next to all the loud pad cracking and stuff like that. That's what they recommended, at least. Anyway, so they set me up with that, and I started training. Like within the first week, they already asked me to fight because they
Wow.
saw me kick, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, he good.
Wow,
You
wow,
fight."
wow.
And I was like, "Whoa, dude, I just got
You're
here."
still an
man."
amateur at this time, and all
Yeah.
all fights in Thailand are technically pro. I mean, you're getting paid.
Yeah, so I'm about 24 at the time, and they're telling me to fight right when I get there.
Wow.
And it's just from hearing me kick. Like I said, my kicks for some reason they always make people's heads turn because they don't expect this small little person to
power.
start cracking the pads. Yeah. So right away they're like, "Oh, you fight." I was like, no. They kept pushing on. So 2 weeks goes by. "Come on, you fight. You good. You fight." And I'm like, no, dude. I just feel like I'm not acclimated. I feel like I gotta get ready to go. And so 3 weeks into it, I'm like, all right, let's do it. And so I took my first fight at 3 weeks of
Wow.
being there, right off the bat.
That's what they wanted me to do. I told them no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're about it, man. They want you to fight. Like that's what they're training you for. They want you to fight. Anyway, so I gave in and I won my first one.
Wow.
Yeah. Went 5 rounds.
You throw elbows, knees in your first
throw
fight?
right in from having no. I mean, I had like two amateur fights without shin guards.
Okay.
And then I go right from that to having full 5 rounds too. Those are 3 rounds, and then I went to a full 5 rounds.
Right.
Full elbows, knees to the head, everything. So I went from like 0 to 100, like amateur rules, straight to full rules. And
Wow.
we were throwing elbows. I threw like flying knees. It was nuts, man.
Were you allowed to throw elbows or knees in the amateur fights?
No,
Not at all.
And this has gone. We're talking about nowadays with Tony Cummings changing the rule sets. Now they can throw elbows. That was never allowed back then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So first fight, you're throwing knees, elbows,
right.
5 rounds.
But honestly, I've been waiting. Like I've been training my whole career
Right.
to throw elbows and to throw like flying knees. So when I had the opportunity to throw them, I was
This is the first time you let loose.
I was like feeling real good about throwing them. It felt really cool. And so of course I won the first one. I was like super obsessed. And so
Where was it?
Again.
Was it like
It's
Bangla Stadium?
Yeah, Bangla Stadium.
Bangla Stadium.
Yeah, I fought one time in a Patong Stadium, and then the rest
Patong.
are at Bangla.
Cool. So Bangla Stadium is kind of downtown Phuket.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. It's like their main fight spot in Phuket, like the red light district area.
Yep.
It's really cool. It's crazy.
Right by Bangla Street.
Yeah, I mean that was nuts. Just like going to the stadium in general, I was like just shitting myself. Like I have
Yeah,
no
I
idea
bet.
what I'm gonna fight. Like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, can you like?
And you get there, and they start wrapping your hands. They're putting shit inside your knuckles. They put like wood in my hand wraps and twined it. I mean, this thing was like a brick. I could punch a concrete wall, no fucking problem.
And
Yeah.
you're doing that right next to your opponent, though, right?
Yeah, and he's over here, and I'm going, what? He goes, don't worry, he has same, and I'm gonna wrap that shit up, man. I can put more on there. I want some type of hard hands. Yeah, so that's what was going on, and then yeah, you get in there, and like you said, the adrenaline's going. You don't even think about it. You have this rock on your hand.
Well, what's your connection with your coaches at that time? I mean, you're only known them for 3 weeks.
You just have I actually have a lot of cool coaches that I trained with. Like a lot of them, Ramba M16, Ramba Samdat is really like an old school Muay Thai guy. He had one of his top students that was training there, and he was like my main guy.
Okay.
And then I had this pro boxer. His name was Nak, but I don't know his real name. But I worked boxing with him. Nice. So I gained some cool friendships. The language barriers there, but you just know, and you just get it, and you can.
Well, like, can you hear them in your corner though? Like, are they yelling stuff that's actionable?
They're saying, they have broken English, and you can get the point. But mostly it's like, don't be scared, big heart, keep pushing, kicking. That's where you're getting. But you feel it. You're like, yeah, I feel you. And then when you make them happy, you're like, fuck yeah.
So it's more like hit them hard than, hey, circle out to the right and throw the left hook.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear anything like that. Okay. It's me like, yo, start kicking now.
Harder.
Yeah, stop being a pussy and give me more heart.
Yeah.
If you see you're backing up, and like, be hard, big heart.
Well,
forward.
Steve Eisen, who was on the show before, posted a video in one of the Easton Muay Thai groups with Sanchai berating Manchai after Manchai lost to the elbows.
They don't take losses very easy. Like one time, speaking of that, I pretty much got reamed by one of my coaches.
Really?
I kicked the guy. This is like the third fight I had. I kicked the guy in the knee, and literally my ankle.
It's painful.
Dude, I shattered my foot, and then it went up like a baseball, and I'm sitting there like, that was all it was on my mind, like when I was going. So the guy's like cracking me, and I'm just sitting there just backing up because all I can feel is my ankle, and I'm just like, god damn it, I can't fucking do it. And then he got me in the clinch, threw me some knees, and I just gave up. I was like, boom. And so when I went to the back, he's like, you know heart, big heart, you scared, no scared. I was like, no, my foot, man, my foot, I'm sorry. So after that, once that happened, I never quit again.
Was that your first loss?
Yeah, that was the first one. That was the first time I lost. And then so after that point, I never quit. So I didn't want to see the disappointment on his face again,
Wow.
And I didn't want to hear that again. So really that was actually a turning point for me. Like I thought like I could just, because I'd seen other people quit before.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, it's okay. If I'm hurt, then there's another one that's going to come on. But so ever since that point, I didn't quit, and I haven't quit since. I've never quit a fight since that time.
So a great experience. I mean, honestly.
Sure. And so I went up with a lot, and I lost 2 more in Thailand, but they were all by decision.
Sure.
And I feel like some of them I won, really, but yeah. I mean, there were times where he'd crack me, and I could feel like, oh, dude, I'm feeling rocked a little bit, but I just like keep pushing because I was like, I'm not quitting. I swore I wouldn't quit anymore.
I love the perspective because I think that's something that fans that don't train. It's a little out of place for them to say, oh, you're a bitch, or oh, that person quit. But I mean, in reality, there is a certain level of when someone loses a fight, maybe they were looking for a way out. Maybe their chin just happened to go up, or maybe they gave up their back because they were tired of getting hit in the face when it's MMA or whatever,
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean, there is an aspect of, people looking for a way out, and you just have to give it to them when they want it.
Yeah, there is. But yeah, that was my last straw. So I've never quit in a fight since then.
That's cool.
Yeah,
and it's cool
that was my turning point for that one.
You got that before you even went pro. You got that experience. I mean, that was a pro fight.
Yeah. So then that's again a gray area.
Yeah.
I just say like, how many fights do I have?
Yeah.
And so they're all Kyle as one, whether they're pro or not. I just have 23 fights. That's
right.
What I got,
Right. So that was your 4th fight or so in Thailand. And one small thing just kind of on that is when I think it was Patong Boxing Stadium, they had the sign above the locker rooms that was apparently something like, don't beat your fighters, or wait till you go home to beat your fighters, because sometimes the coaches will beat the fighters worse than they got beat in the fight if they're disappointing in their effort. Or
I mean, it's a different lifestyle there, and they'll take things differently. I mean, you watch little 3-year-old kids knock each other out.
I feel like when I was watching them, I loved going to the fight, so I'd go, every other day.
Yeah, me too. Because anytime we had a guy fighting, we all get in, and then if you fought, you get in for free. So
sometimes I feel like the 13-year-olds were the ones that are going the hardest, like those teenagers
they're sharp
that are just
and
hitting puberty.
They have mad energy.
So pissed.
I've seen like one kid just. he got dropped with a head kick, and then he comes back in and just screams.
Yeah, they're fiery. Yeah.
And it's just nuts.
I
Bro.
love
Like,
it.
this is awesome. He's bleeding everywhere.
I
They're
love it.
little badasses, dude. Like, it's just totally different lifestyle
Yeah.
than we do it here in America. It almost feel like kind of pussies here in America.
I know,
like
right?
Going there.
I trained at Revolution. It was Sitsong Pingyong at the time, Revolution Muay Thai now, and they have a 7-year-old there that's been, I think he's got 10 fights already in his career.
Nuts, bro.
The Lek.
Man.
It's
Super
crazy.
cool. Yeah. Great experience, though. That's the best experience of my life. So.
But you were sponsored there. I mean, essentially you're living for free.
Back to that. So the 3 months, or about 2.5 months come by. I've had 2 fights, or I've had 3 fights at this point. And then this is my time to go back. So it's so now I'm going like, boom, I have to go back in like 2 weeks. And so the manager comes down and goes, "Hey man, would you want to be sponsored by the gym?"
Wow, what an honor.
And so I was like, fuck yeah, dude. He's like, you could train, we'll let you stay for free. Because at this point, I ran out of money.
Such a vote of confidence, too, though.
No money. I mean, because I was there every day. I mean, I was so dedicated. It was crazy.
Sure.
I didn't do anything. I didn't party and do shit. I just only partied after I won a fight, and that was it. But after that, I was just back to training. So they saw that, and they saw that potential. But anyway, they gave me a 5-fight contract to be sponsored by the gym, and all I had to do was give them a little piece of the purse money. So I didn't have to pay for training. I didn't have to pay for stay. They gave me free stay, and I just pay for food.
What percentage is it usually that you have to pay?
20%.
20%.
20%.
Okay.
For your trainers and your.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no problem. And I had a free training and free stay. So that's what the sponsorship was about.
Wow.
And so that it came to the decision. Here comes 2 weeks, and I have to leave, take the flight, or I take this 5-fight contract with Lion.
What is your situation at home? I mean, did you still have your job?
So I quit my job.
Okay.
To go to Thailand because they said they wouldn't.
And you figured it out when you got back.
Yeah, I figured out when I got back because I get it. Cook job, no problem.
Kitchen.
But I had to break the lease on my apartment, so it hurt my credit a little bit. But I was willing to give that up too. So I called like my mom and my good friend, and he just moved everything out of my apartment.
Wow.
Yeah, so they did all the for me.
That is a great friend.
I appreciate him doing that. But yeah, so that was a decision. I had 2 weeks to make a decision. Do I fly back or do I stay and I fight? And
wow, what a moment.
And so I ended up staying. It was supposed to be a 3-month trip. It was now a year trip. and 9 fights total.
So, I mean, can you milk that? Like, let's say they say it's a 5-fight contract. Can you say...
No, man. Dude,
no?
I was injured, and they would make me fight the next week.
I do hear that. I remember hearing that.
I was like, man, my fucking foot, man, it doesn't feel good. He's like, no, you fight. You cool, no problem. They convince you, that, hey, it's okay. But that's what everyone's doing anyway. So you're seeing all these guys are injured too, and they're fighting.
It's an interesting dynamic.
So I'd take that in.
Even if it's not forced by
every
the gym.
time so I had 2 more losses, right? But every time I lost is because I had an injury. It's like if you just let me heal, maybe I wouldn't have lost that fight.
Yeah. But even if it's not forced by the gym, it's almost like, let's say you're not sponsored, then you need that money because you have to pay for your living. So you do see these people fighting hurt all the time. Another interesting dynamic I witnessed firsthand was someone taking a fight with one promoter and then taking a fight with another promoter with only 2 weeks in between. But then they get hurt in the first fight. Mm-hmm. And so the coaches that are aligned with the other promoter are like, dude, I don't care that you just took that fight and got hurt. I need you to take this fight because you told him you would. Yeah, well, that, and then even if that does happen, they will replace somebody in like literally 2 seconds. They'll be like, hey, you're fighting right now. And they'll replace anybody. Like, I seen, like, if you go to like Bangla Stadium and the person doesn't show up to fight, boom, they'll grab someone from the stands. Or sometimes I saw one where they just felt like the matchup wasn't good. They felt like one guy was bigger than the other.
Swap out real quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
so one ended up with a taxi driver.
The fight will go down. Like if you think if your opponent doesn't show up, you're not fighting. You're fighting. And sometimes you fight someone bigger than you. Like you won't even fight your opponent. You'll just fight some big ass dude that's in the crowd that wants to fight.
How did you find your fights?
They did like the promoter would come and check my weight and then they would grab someone.
So they come to the gym and
I never got mismatched other than but they told me about it before. I fought Fazad Grangrian. He's like a K1 guy. Anyway, he was way bigger than me. He was like 145 and I'm like 132. Bigger guy and a lot more experience. And they said super fight, big super fight, and it's like you fight with him and then they convinced me that I could beat him. And so I went in there. And I did really well against. I went 5 rounds with them, but
you can beat anyone, really.
Yeah, so I went 5 rounds with them, and I almost finished him in the second round. I cracked him with an elbow, and I had him all messed up against the ropes. And I was trying to finishing him with a knee, and I blew my load at second round. And so the next 3 rounds, he was just manhandling me in the clinch, just throwing me on the ground. I'd kick, you catch, you'd sweep me. Boom.
It's another thing people don't see from the outside. They see that and they think, oh, that guy has poor cardio. But really, it could have just been one moment where you're like, I got this, and you get excited.
Dude, I hit him with an elbow. I saw he was hurt. I had put him against the ropes. I grabbed him. I was trying to knee him as hard as I could for like about 30 seconds. And then third round came in, I was like, I can't breathe.
So he was a Thai guy?
No, he's a... Where is he from? Sweden.
Oh, okay.
Swedish kickboxer.
They seem to send a lot of people to Thailand.
He's like a two-time world K1 kickboxer.
Wow.
And so I took that super fight with him. So not only was he way more experienced, but he had way bigger. So he's like, 5'11", probably 145. I'm like 5'7".
And a similar style to you.
Similar, yeah. I mean, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. I went 5 rounds though. After that second round, I got manhandled a little bit.
So are you always fighting other foreigners, or are you fighting Thai guys too when you're over there?
I fought 4 Thais, and then the rest were foreigners. Like Australia, Russia, and France.
But out of 9 fights, 4 of them were Thais.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And 2 of them I lost to the
Interesting.
Thais. So 2 losses to the Thais, and then 1 to Sweden.
So when you're fighting, are you fighting guys that have similar experience to you as far as number of fights?
Dude, yeah. Well, sometimes you'll fight ex-champions. You'll fight ex-Rajaman Stadium champions that are just coming down and they're just retired and they're just fighting and they have like literally 200 fights and they'll fight some foreigner that will do. That's literally the matchups they'll do some of these times.
Wow. So
fighting is going to go down there. It's going to happen.
So what was the most number of fights of the opponent that you had to fight?
I mean, the only way I would know is if he was famous was it Fazad, or if I talked to him after,
I see.
I fought 18-year-old kid one time from Australia, and he had like 3 fights,
Yeah.
And I only knew that because I talked to him after, So I mean, other than that, it's pretty. I never really got that mismatched.
Have you ever gotten into the fight and felt like, oh, dude, this dude's on another level?
Yeah, with Fazad, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. I was like, and everyone already told me about him. We already knew about him before going into it, but they told me I could beat him.
Sure.
But I thought I did too. I mean, I had a lot of confidence back then too. I was like,
of
fuck,
course.
I could beat him.
Young man.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I just found out the hard way. But it was a good fight.
What does a fight camp look like in Thailand compared to in the U.S.?
Way different.
Really?
Yeah. So 6 days a week.
Okay.
You run 30 minutes in the morning at 7:30, and then you train at 8 to 10.
30 minutes,
so
like
that's 2.5 hours.
6K, 10?
Yeah, 5. No, the morning run's a big run, so it's 8K in the morning. So it takes you about 30 minutes. You
start like 4 miles or so.
Yeah, you start at 7:30. So it's a nice run. You run around the beach. It's really relaxing. So yeah, you can do that. This is Monday through Saturday. You're doing that. No, not Saturday. Monday through Friday, you're doing the 30-minute run at 7:30. You train at 8 to 10. Boom. And then you come back at 4. But you do a 15-minute run before that. So it's like, 2.5 hours and then 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's 4 hours and 45 minutes of training a day. And then, but the thing is you can go and rest. It's not like here, right. I'm going to go train. I got to go to work.
Right.
I'm going to do a little run later. It's, you train, you go take a nap, and then you come back and you get some more.
I feel like it helped my recovery when I was there.
Man, but one thing I couldn't do is keep on any weight, dude. I was so skinny, man. I was like, I couldn't keep on.
I was eating a lot of ice cream.
Yeah.
While I was in Thailand.
I mean, I was putting down as much as I could in between and after, and I could not hold on any weight. I was staying like pretty at 137.
So you weren't really cutting weight for the fights while you were in Thailand?
Yeah, like just not really cutting at all.
So you were there for a year. You said, I think before the show, you told me 11 months and 1 week.
Yeah, 11 months, 1 week.
And you fight 9 times.
Yep.
So every 5 weeks.
Every month, yeah, once a week. And then one of them there, because I had the injury,
right.
So I took actually a month off from that one. So, but like at the end there, I fought twice in 1 month.
A month off from training, or a month off?
Yeah, a month off
fighting?
from training, and because I couldn't do it. I was boxing a little bit. That was it though. But then once my leg healed, then I went right back at it.
How do you? So what did they pay for with the scholarship?
They pay for the training and the stay.
What do you do for like food? How do you have money
to pay for
spend?
the food because you have to fight. And then I was able to I sold some stuff. I sold like my scooter. I was riding like a scooter around Denver. I sold it for like $1,000.
Nice.
And I had my mom then send me the money over.
Gotcha.
And so I had that. And that was like, it was a lot of money.
That's like a year.
It's a lot for food wise. Yeah. So you find the good spots to spend the money on food. So that's all I had to worry about was food, and that was it.
Because I mean, at least from my experience, I want to say a full smoothie, they call them smoothies, but it's really like a fruit slushy with protein, right?
Yeah.
So a slushy with the protein, a plate of chicken with red chili paste, vegetables and rice, maybe even some potatoes, spring rolls, $3. $3.
Yeah, $100, $150.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's wild.
Dude, yeah. It's awesome.
It's a good life.
Totally is. Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why I came back. It was good, but then everything got real small and everything got old.
Yeah.
Like doing the same thing every day and the training, it got old and the place got real small. Phuket's not very big, and I just felt like I was getting enclosed in. I was like, I'm coming back, but I gotta go. I gotta take off. So I came back and I never made it back.
Do you have any designs to go back?
I will definitely go back for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it be to fight or not, I would definitely make my way back there. I guess I got some good buddies out there I still talk to on Facebook and stuff. But
very cool.
Yeah, I would definitely make my way back there. Whether it be to fight or not, it wouldn't matter. I would definitely make my way back. It's like it took a good piece of my heart.
Oh yeah. So an incredible experience, and then you come back, and do you go pro right away?
Yep. So I tried. Well, no, I didn't try. We tried to do amateur fights, and they weren't taking any. So I had one amateur fight, and they realized, then they caught on real fast that this guy has way too much experience for amateur. So like either he goes pro or we can't get him any fight.
Nowadays, it wouldn't be so much an issue. You could go train go fight A class.
Yeah, A class TBAs, and that's what we're gonna do this year or next year.
Cool.
Because it's been so difficult to find just straight Muay Thai fights. But yeah, that was the issue. I had one amateur fight when I got back. So I already had like 9 like pro fights, because they're all full rules.
9 full rules fights. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, 9 full rules fights. And so then I come back and then we're back to the American amateur rules.
Limited.
So no knees to the head, no elbows.
Kickboxing essentially.
Yeah, kickboxing. And so then I get that one fight, and then I beat him, and then he says, no, we can't get you any more fights. No one wants to fight you, because if you're gonna go pro, then we can get you more fights. So we're like, okay, let's do that. So we just took
you get paid in more fights.
Yeah, so why not, right? So we took the pro contract, and boom, there it is. Started the pro, but I've only had now 4 fights.
Over how long? When was that?
So I was 27. So
2007?
Yeah, so I've had 1 fight a year.
2017.
No, yeah, 2007. No, I was 27.
Got it.
27 years
I was like, that's a long time.
I went pro at age 27.
Got it.
An American pro.
So you're 3 years. Okay, but I mean, I honestly thought that's with an injury. So that's
so I had like
2 fights a year, maybe.
Yeah, 2 fights a year. But then I got injured, so I've been out because of the injury. That's right.
So it's not terribly small number of fights.
Yeah, it's pretty normal for America. It's really normal to have like 1 fight a year, maybe 2 fights a year.
Compared to Thailand.
Yeah, in Thailand it's literally once a month, maybe sometimes twice a month. Yeah, it's crazy.
Would you do that?
That's what I was used to, and I was like, man, this sucks, man. I should go back to Thailand. But yeah, and then work picked up. And
do you think you could fight that often here? Like, if the fights were available, like with your time?
Now, I mean, me comfortably. I'd like to. Now, I'd like to be fully prepared. Like before, I was kind of like, just going into it because
you're a young buck.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's like I'd like to be more prepared. So I'd like to do. I think 3 would be great.
Yeah.
And just really dedicate your time. That's when you need to be the sharpest. If you're going in with an injury because you have to fight, it's just not the same as you taking like an 8-week camp to prepare for something. You're gonna be way more sharper.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you've always been a striker. Have you ever done like jiu-jitsu or wrestling?
Yeah, I used to do. I have 4 stripes on my blue belt or my white belt.
Sorry. Wow. Yeah. Right under a blue belt.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of MMA and just because it was there.
Competed or trained?
No competing. Yeah, we did. At Easton, they had the MMA class. And so, in order to do that, you have to have a certain belt rank. So I started doing jiu-jitsu because I wanted to do the MMA class. Because this is like when I was like 21 or 22. I wanted to do MMA really bad. And so then once I started doing like Muay Thai and I went to Thailand, that was it. I never went back to
fell in love
to anything like that again.
Cool.
Yeah, but cool. I mean, I have some experience, but it's been like 6 years since I've done jiu-jitsu or been on the mat or anything like that. But hey, like clinching and stuff, it's very similar to wrestling.
Greco-Roman style.
Yeah, just using the upper body, not the legs. But I mean, like I was just messing around with some buddies, like it was just like wrestling. You're strong up top, man. Yeah. It's makes you strong when you do the clinching stuff. It's like they're Thai wrestling.
Yeah,
essentially.
So you're at like what 22, 23, 24 fights now overall. I think. Yeah. So moving forward.
And like I said, if we didn't do if they had like the TBAs like we were talking about, Wes is racking them up now.
Yeah.
And I wish I maybe have done that route because now I can start doing TBAs, IFMA.
Well, the landscape's changed
like that.
so much.
I mean, this is back when the OG fight team in Colorado fighting or just America. Muay Thai has changed so much, and I just missed that
even
shot.
in the last few years,
Yeah.
Last 3 to 5.
Literally like last year.
Yeah.
And I just missed that shot. So we just found out that I can do like TBAs A class.
Yeah.
and you obviously don't get paid, but I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely do that.
Yeah. So potentially, TBAs next year.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I'm 31 now. I still feel good. I feel good in my body. I'll go as long as I feel good. Something like range of 35 before I'll just go
4 more years
just before I go to coaching full time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So would World Championships be on the docket? Is
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
a goal?
It always will be on the radar there for sure. I don't want to fight just to fight. I would like to fight just to get the records, be the best, and
Be the best.
yeah, right. I mean, that's what most people do it for.
So, I mean, potentially as a path moving forward, you would be looking at TBAs if you theoretically won TBAs in A class.
Yeah, I mean, because we get a big crew that goes through there. You
Yeah.
know, and I would love to just go out there with them.
Yeah, well, you
It's
had
nice.
3 or 4 champions in this last one.
So that's great base to work off. And if we're gonna go again next year, I'm sure we'll have an even bigger crew. Might as well jump in on that.
So, if you won A class, does that automatically
That just gives you that
qualify for like World Championships?
I think so. I think it gives you some sort of qualification to go to
Maybe
like
a prestige
the World
fight.
Games or IFMA game, something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever West did. West is one A
IFMA.
class.
I mean, IFMA definitely
gets
seems
it
to be the
bumped up.
pinnacle,
yeah,
at
and then
least
that,
available.
And that you'll see pros there too.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean that could be like boom the step to do that.
Yeah.
So that might be the goal I might need to take since it's just so hard to find fights.
Well, in my opinion, and I don't know if this is truly the case, but the only difference between A class and pro, I mean, they're literally the same people that are fighting, is A class, you're not getting paid for that fight, and
that's
pro, you're
literally the
getting paid
difference.
for that fight.
There is a million A class guys that'll just smash whoever you want to call a pro. You
Yeah,
know?
so-
They're just as good.
Are you willing to fight without getting paid?
Yeah,
in America,
absolutely,
you have
absolutely.
to be.
yeah, absolutely. Because I'm totally fine with my job pays well, so
Yeah,
I'm not worried about money.
That's a nice.
Even if I got paid $1,000, I wouldn't even care. It's just,
you have an
just
ideal.
throw that to the bar afterwards, because I'm not worried about money. So that being said, I will pay to go. I'll pay for my flight. I'll pay for the hotel to go.
Right.
Because I want to fight.
You have an ideal setup. I mean, owning your own business provides flexibility. Being a private chef provides
Yeah.
the right schedule. So you have a nice setup to be able to pursue this career.
Yeah.
And you have a hobby that keeps you balanced with the skateboarding as well, and maybe even a little more than a hobby. You pursue
Man,
that
like,
almost full time.
Yeah. I'm always doing something. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that knows what's on the TV, what the football score is, what movies are out. I don't.
You're a
know.
big Broncos fan.
No, I have no idea. I have no idea about any of that stuff because I'm always doing something.
Yeah, that's what's
Like
up.
literally, I only have like maybe an hour at night, and that's to go to sleep. And I'm watching something relevant to what I do.
Max Muay Thai.
I'll watch Max Muay Thai. I'll watch skate
Super
videos. I'll watch Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm out watching
That Rico Verhoeven one.
I'll
the
watch kickboxing.
Prince of Kickboxing, King of Kickboxing. It's a good. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes.
He's
He was
good.
on last night, but it's a good.
Yeah. So
good
I mean
podcast.
that's what I'll put like my bedtime stuff. That's
Yep.
the only time during the day I have it because I'll go to work. In between work and going to the gym, I'm skating. And I go to the
Yeah.
gym, I teach, and then I come home, and that's pretty much what
I
what
like
do.
it. Sounds
I
like a
don't
nice
know.
life.
I don't know what what else is going on.
You don't need
outside.
to.
Yeah, I don't
You're
need
good.
to. Just gotta focus on yourself sometimes,
Absolutely.
So,
So,
that's
so
what's
tell
going on.
me, if you think back to when you were 19, what was your goal when you first got into martial arts? Were you
It was so
thinking
much
MMA?
fun. I'm just a competitor. I like to compete. I like to test myself. I like
Yeah.
to see who's better. It's not like in a violent way. It's just like to
Yep.
see, boom, if I lose, I lose. You're a better
Yeah.
man. I like that kind of combat. I think that's cool.
But it's also, I mean, I love that perspective. I completely agree, but I think it's also a very big test of yourself. I mean,
And then once I found, it's changed me as a person completely. I
Yeah.
think I would be down a way different road if I didn't pick up doing Muay Thai for sure. But then after like it, that's originally what it was. Just I need a hobby. I need to let out this whatever it was that I
so
was
you
doing
didn't
at the
see
time.
fighting as a professional necessarily
Not
at
at
the
all,
beginning.
not at all. And then once I got into it, I realized I was actually pretty good at it. And then it just went from there. And then that's how it works. It's like a stepping stone.
So you keep stumbling into success. You're like, oh, I
kind
get
of
into
the
a fight.
I
I'm kind
guess
of good
so.
at this fighting
Yeah.
thing. And then you train. You're like, oh, I'm kind of competitive.
That's pretty much how it went down. I really had no idea this was as far as I would go with it for sure.
Huh.
Yeah, so I'm very blessed and thankful for Muay Thai. Like I feel like I have to give back, and that's one of the reasons that I coach, because I got to give back.
Yeah.
For what it's done for me. It's done huge things for my life, and I'm happy to see through coaching if it can do that for somebody else too.
I love it.
So that's why I do it.
How do you feel like your goals have evolved over time since day one of testing yourself to now?
Now it's like the goal is I tore my ACL. I did the surgery. Now it's like, do I still got it? That's the goal now.
So
Now
a
it's
test
like,
of yourself
yeah,
again?
it's another test. Yeah, another test. Like, hey, do we still got this? Let's go.
Do you feel, you mentioned your confidence as far as like sparring. Is that something that,
It has to
makes you
fade
nervous
away.
about taking a fight?
No. During a fight, I know that adrenaline will come. I know I'll get pumped up and it won't think about the knee at all. And when you're in there, it's like, if you're kicking my knee or you're getting near it, it's going to make me mad. And I'm going to go even harder on your ass,
Yeah.
So, no, it's just during sparring. I do not want, I would love to, I mean, I would more so tear it in a fight than in training. So I think about it during training, like, if I tear my shit again, dude, I'm going to be so fucking bummed.
Yeah.
So that's what I worry about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're, like you said, you give back, you coach. You're a very active coach. You're one of my coaches. You train, or you coach Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Monday, Wednesday.
My
Yeah.
apologies.
And then I train Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, you're in there Monday through Friday, so
Yeah.
you're already giving back to the people that are starting out their careers. There's a big developmental program in Muay Thai.
Yeah, we've grown crazy. It's been
tremendous. The classes are huge.
Like I said, it was maybe like one or two of us.
Well, I think it's a testament to the interest in your coaching, whether it's you, Wes, Terrence, Sean. I mean, I think, those big classes are certainly attributed to the desire people have to learn from you guys and, your vast knowledge.
Yeah, we got
it's
a lot
impressive.
of experience. Yeah. Me and Sean go way back. I've known Sean for probably 10 years.
Is Sean your head coach currently? Or who would be your head coach, would you say?
Whoever wants to be, hold pads for me. It could be my coach. No, Sean's kind of oversees everything. Used to be Tony. I'm not sure if he's going to come back. He's busy with the athletic commission. Well, we just have, for me, I think the coach is whoever's holding pads for me or in training during the pad, because then they know your body and they can know it. So I usually have those people in my corner. But like Sean or Tony will be like the overseer of the fight or whatever whatever responsibilities are to make the fight happen.
Yeah.
But I see like whoever wants to hold pads, who wants to do drills, those are kind of like my coach buddy kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's cool. It's cool
and
how
that
you
can
set
change
up
every
your career.
camp.
Right.
Yeah.
It's dynamic, like your career's been up to this point.
Yeah.
So if you obviously impart a lot of knowledge onto young students all the time, but if you had to kind of boil all your advice down to one point for a young fighter that's coming up, what would it be?
Yes, stay focused. Yeah. I mean, like literally, if you just look at what I do, I just don't worry about anything else. But other than that, if you just focus on just primarily training and just ultimately see your goal, even if it doesn't work out, like it will work out eventually.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking about quitting because it hurts, it's too much. That's when success comes around. Like when you're tired, you're frustrated, and you won't give up, and it just works out that way somehow. It's like when you're at the last point, somehow it just turns around. I don't know how to explain it.
I love it. No, I think it's great.
It's like I've been there many times, and all of a sudden the next week it's like boom, everything turns around. It's like you just passed the test or something. Like someone's like, "Hey, nice job.
That's
Pass
beautiful.
the test, just stick with it," and that's really pretty basic.
Yeah. No, but it's real though. I think the focus is a big part of anybody's success in anything.
You gotta be.
I think Steve Jobs, he's probably not the first person, but he was attributed with the idea that it's not what you say yes to in business, it's what you're able to say no to that allows you to focus. So he would go to his, I think, like number one right-hand guy, and he would say, what did you say no to today? Like I don't want you thinking about what other projects you can do. I want you focusing on this and saying no to everything else that would possibly get in the way of you being successful in this one aspect.
Oh yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Focus.
Sure.
That's cool.
That's it. It's really the only thing I got.
Well, man, I'm excited for your comeback. I'm excited for you to fight again and test yourself and see what you're capable of.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's always fun to watch
myself. Yeah, thank you.
So we'll have you sign that banner on the way out. But appreciate you coming on, Danny.
Thanks
a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Check us out online at theprizefightingbusiness.com. Follow us on Instagram at PrizeFightBiz. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Prize Fighting Business. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Thanks.